Hello and welcome to this tutorial on installing tools. In this video we're going to do the download and installation of two tools. We're going to use the Mamp web server and database server, and we're going to use a text editor called Eclipse. The first tool I want to install is Mamp. So if you look at the website mamp.info, you'll come to the downloads section here. Now Mamp stands for Macintosh, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. However, there is also Mamp for Windows, which is kind of a strange thing, but that's what we're going to use. It's reliable and it's consistent then if you're either a Mac or a Windows person in this tutorial. We're looking for the Mamp free version, and so I'm going to choose download here, and let's follow the links. If you're on Macintosh, you choose the Mac OS. I'm choosing Windows on this demonstration. However, the rest of the tutorials will show the Mamp installation on Macintosh. Let's click download. You can see it's downloading here, so I'll pause the video and come back in a minute. Okay, it appears that the download is complete, so I'm going to show the downloads in the Finder. This will open up the downloads folder, and I'm going to install the program by double-clicking. Now, you have to make sure that you get the right options here, so don't just start clicking all of the defaults. Let's choose specifically what we need. So English is assuming that's what you speak. This says we're going to have the option to install Mamp Pro, and so we're going to try to avoid that. I don't need Mamp Pro. It's for multiple reasons, but free is the reason that I want to start with. I'll accept their agreement. Notice the folder we're in. It's called C/Mamp. That's an important place to find your work later. And so we'll click yes to install over top of what I've done before. Next, and with a default icon, and let's install. Okay, so now we're going to launch this program. So first of all, it's important to know where you installed this. So I'm going to go look into the File Explorer, search for my computer, and look for the C drive. So you can find it several ways, but local disk C, and the folder that it was installed to is called Mamp. So inside of Mamp you will find the file called mamp.exe, or it'll be listed as an application. So this folder, htdocs, is extremely important to know where to find it. Anything that you publish to the web server has to go in here. So you can see I have a project called Recipe Lister already published. If you were to create your own, you would make a new folder here. So our first project that we're going to make is called Hero Maker, and so I would create a folder for that. So we'll see that in a minute. Let's back out here, and I'm going to launch the program. So Mamp exe, you can launch it from here, or you'll notice that on the desktop there's also a Mamp shortcut. So that points to, as you can see from the location, it says C/Mamp. So let's launch the program. And it says here it's automatically starting the servers. So Apache server has turned green, and MySQL server. So there's two different packages that are running here. Let's choose the start page. This should launch a new page in our browser. Notice the localhost/mamp URL. So that's important. Localhost means you're running on your local computer. Down here on the bottom it says you have an important link called My PHP Admin. Let's launch that. So this will be a tool we'll be using a lot. It shows all the databases that are on our server. Let's go see what localhost itself would do. So if I type in localhost and press enter, I have the index of my htdocs folder. You see Hero Maker was there. It's an empty folder. And then the other Recipe Lister, if I click that, then I have a program, and that's been developed in another tutorial later on. So you're getting a preview of what's coming. But the important part is to remember that this htdocs folder is where you're going to be putting all your files. So I want to be able to get back to this thing easily, so I'm going to right click and choose create a desktop shortcut. So in my version of Windows it'll do it like that. Now I should see a shortcut on my desktop, and here it is, shortcut htdocs. So if I open that, it brings me to my Mamp htdocs folder. Let's switch over to Macintosh for a second. So if you're in the Macintosh world, and it goes into the folder called Applications. So if I choose Applications, and let's go search for Mamp here. So elemental P is about right coming up here. There it is, Mamp. Okay, so inside the Mamp folder, you are also going to find htdocs. So if you've installed Mamp to Macintosh, you're going to have a Mamp folder in your applications and then the Mamp application. So I'm going to launch that, and you can see that the startup screen looks very similar. And I'm going to start my servers, and I should get green check marks for both the Apache server, and so you can see that localhost has been started here. Here's another catch. I would make sure that I keep this thing in my local dock, so I'm going to choose keep in dock as a checkmark option. So we're using Mamp as a choice for both Windows and Macintosh so that there's some consistency between our students in the same platforms. So here in the Macintosh version, you can see the folder called htdocs is listed here. So any projects that I publish are in that folder. Now I want to have a shortcut to that. So in Macintosh, you can just drag over here to your area where you keep your favorites. And now if you click on this thing, you get a shortcut right into the Mamp folder htdocs. So it's easy to get to. Okay, so the next tool we're going to download is our text editor. So I'm choosing the Eclipse editor, and so you can see eclipse.org is the website I'm looking at. You have many choices for text editors. You can see on my dock here I have a text editor called Atom, Visual Studio Code, Eclipse, Sublime Text, Text Wrangler, and there are many others. So my personal favorites are the ones here at the top. I'm using Atom and Visual Studio Code most of the time. And Eclipse is good if you have already come from the Java world. It will look familiar. I was a little surprised at how hard it is to find the correct version of Eclipse. If you choose Download and you come to Eclipse Oxygen and we have just a button, what I'm looking for is specifically a Eclipse that runs PHP editing. And so I'm not seeing that on the page. So unfortunately, the download button that we would expect to bring us to all kinds of versions of Eclipse seems to just show us the Java version. So I'm going to rely on Google, and I'm going to ask for Eclipse and type in PHP download. So PHP for developers in Eclipse. So I'll choose the first link here. And let's see, PHP for developers. Let's try the Oxygen packages, which seems to be the current release. If you're from the future, you might have a more up-to-date version than this. And so what I'm looking for is PHP for Eclipse, and let's try that one. I'm going to choose my version of operating system, which is Windows, and download. You can see that the download has started. Okay, it looks like the download finished, so let's go show this in the Finder. Now what we have here is a zip file. So let's open up the zip file here. And in Windows, you will have to copy the contents of the zip folder and put it in a location of your choosing. In Macintosh, if you click a zip folder, it will automatically create a folder where the file is found. Okay, so you can see that the Eclipse folder is now open. It won't work if you just open and run the program from here. You have to copy this file. So I'm going to copy the folder, and I'm also going to put it right in the root directory. So I'm going to C, pressing Control V to paste. Okay, so finally it unpacked the Eclipse folder. Let's go and delete the original now. So I've got the downloads folder. The zip file can be deleted, so I will right click and delete that. Now the Eclipse folder itself is in the C drive. So let's go look for Eclipse, and there is the icon. So let's launch Eclipse, and you can see that I have an error. It says a Java runtime environment or Java development kit is not installed. So I have to go download that and install that as well. So I'm here at the Oracle website looking for the runtime environment for Java. So I think Java 8 is what I need. Let's say Windows 64-bit. So I'll accept their license and then pick the exe installation and let that download. Okay, the download is complete, so I will once again open up the folder where the downloads are. There is the Java runtime environment for Windows 64-bit. If you get the wrong version, if you get 32-bit, it won't work with your Java installations like Eclipse. Okay, so in the background it's looking like it's running, so let's go and and run this. So let's do the installation, and let's wait for it to finish. Okay, it says I've successfully installed Java, so let's close the installation. So let's return to the C drive in the Eclipse folder, and this time Eclipse exe, and it looks like I might be working this time. Alright, so the first thing that they are asking you for is a workspace. Where, in other words, where are you going to save all your documents? So you could use this. You'd have to copy your files over to the web server every time you make a change. So I'm going to directly publish my files into the folder that will be for my web server. So let's see, I go to Computer and C drive, and then I'm looking for Mamp, and then inside of Mamp is htdocs. So let's try that. Click OK. So you can see Mamp htdocs. So here's the welcome screen if you wish to choose some of these. I'm going to close the welcome screen and get directly into the published files. Okay, it looks like our tools are installed. We're ready to program. Let's look here at the Macintosh downloads. So I'm going to go into my Macintosh environment, do the same search for Eclipse, and let's go look at the packages that are available. Let's select Oxygen, which currently is their newest, and let's choose the Oxygen Eclipse for PHP. This time I am downloading the Mac OS. And let's click the download button. Okay, so it's finished downloading. So let's go to the downloads folder. And we can see that the Eclipse for Mac OS is here. Let's open up the installation. So to make this installation happen, you drag Eclipse to the Applications folder and drop. Once inside the Applications folder, you can find the Eclipse icon here. Double click it, and your application will launch. So in your workspace, this is where Eclipse automatically saves its documents. I'm pointing mine to this folder called Applications Mamp htdocs. And so it directly saves the information into the web servers folder. You can change that with the Browse button. And you can go through and select different places that you want to install this. So you can see that I have Eclipse running, and the projects that I've created here is in the Projects folder. If you want to see the Projects folder, you can also go to Show View and choose Project Explorer. And that will bring up all the projects that you've made. To start one of these projects, you would go to File, New, Project, and then it would ask you to give it a name.